Hi, what's up?
Hi. So last week we had Sion Sarkar, who from being a ordinary person, he became aspiring YouTuber, and he's fast growing. Today we have Tyrone Dominic Francis Pope, who works for a multinational company, and for last 2 to 3 years he has been pursuing acting. So let's start with the beginning. How did this bug bite you?
Well, so if you want to start from the beginning, it has to be connected to you too, I guess, because as you know, we've been born and brought up together and we have started watching movies, television, and the art form actually exposed itself to us in
Yeah.
the first place. So that bug started a long time ago. It's just that I've rekindled it over the last 2 years and 3 years, and I've tried to run behind my passion. It's late, I know, but I've heard some wise man say that it's never too late. So I kind of rekindled it now. So earlier, I think I had that affinity towards watching movies, and I had that affinity towards looking at actors is in a such a form where they could perform with such ease. And looking at that, I felt that I think I have that quality too. So why not try it out? So I think growing up watching these big celebrities
Yeah,
like
certainly we
Jim
have
Carrey,
watched a lot of movies together. I mean, maybe 500,000 maybe movies we have, movies and series we have watched together.
n number of movies, I think
Yeah,
it started off by actually admiring Jim Carrey. I think you used to see me copying Jim Carrey all my
yeah.
childhood life, and I'm a big fan of Jim Carrey, and I really enjoyed copying him at that age. And till date, I feel that he's what he can do, no one else can do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you ask me to answer simply, looking at actors perform in the way they can gave me that bug to try it out on my own and go ahead with it and follow that as a passion.
So how did you really start this journey? I mean, you went to someone, what someone reached toward to you.
See, I mean, you never know how it starts, right? You're the whole process of becoming an actor or becoming an actor or an artist before was a very wild thing. People used to think that it's some celebrity life which is out of our reach, and any normal person would think that what goes on there is not at all uh, in our reach. So I was from a small town. I think you're from the same town too. So it was even more difficult to have that dream. So yeah, so I mean, our my parents would obviously at that time, due to the middle class mentality, they had that uh, goal of making their children and making their offspring a doctor or a scientist or an engineer. So in that environment, to have a dream of becoming an actor and have the proper training gets really difficult. So I completed the normal career path what any small town guy would do. But later on, I realized that's not for me, and I really need to run behind my passion also. So I made it happen for myself. So over the past couple of years, I have started joining certain training institutes, joined different theater groups. At the moment, I'm situated in Bangalore. I know Mumbai is the Hollywood of India. They call it the Hollywood of India. That's the place you need to be to understand acting and the entire world of this entire film world, basically. But I tried it from a city where there's a little less exposure, I would say, but more exposure of theater. So I started joining these theater groups where I realized that theater is also important to develop your acting skills. So that's how I
You
started
learned,
my journey.
you didn't you didn't go to any acting class per se. You just learned
No,
as
no,
you worked.
yes. So I think many people have told me that you've got the potential and you need to work on your skill as an actor. I've heard this a lot by now. It's like become a lingo for me. So what I found out is that in my busy schedule of my work life as an IT professional, it's hard for me to take out time to join an entire training institute, which I should be doing, but I could only make a do with what I have at hand, right?
Yeah,
So
realistically, it's not possible.
it's not
Yeah.
possible. So the only option that I had was to join certain theater groups, and theater is a platform which gives every acting, or I would say, what you say, a struggling aspirant who wants to become an actor or who wants to become an artist in the performing arts, a ground to start off from at least. So you learn a lot from theater. So that's how I started off doing it: theater workshops, performing in plays, understanding the art, even in working as a production unit, how it would work and what is there. And I've done also, later on I branched out and I have done some film training too from an institute in Mumbai. I tried it out online and I also went for an offline workshop too. So that gave me a lot of exposure from a film side, or on camera acting as they call it. So the distinction I got to know from the on camera acting and theater, how it stands out, how both exclusively stand out. So that's how my training process is now. I know it sounds pretty raw, but these are the only options I had.
You have to make do with you have in front of you. We can't, not everyone's have the same you know structure. Don't Not everyone have the same path. You have to adopt as you go. So this
Yeah,
is
correct.
so what was your first day? I mean, the first day you went to a theater group. I mean, theater is something I see as the toughest thing to do. So
Yeah.
how was your first day?
Actually, the first time I stepped on stage, you would remember that, right? It was at school. I did this play Tom Thumb, right?
Yeah.
So getting onto the stage was okay for me. I felt at ease, but I did not know there are so many technical things behind that theater form of performing arts. So once I stepped into, so it was a small room, but they utilized it in such a manner and trained me in such a manner that my eyes and my brain and my entire physical form and mental form opened up to a whole new world. So theater is something many actors and many normal people or people who don't know about the art underestimate. So theater is a form which really, really engraves, and all the bests that you see in the industry today, starting from Pankaj Tripathi, Robert De Niro, and Tom Hanks, and everyone, all the biggies have some theater background. So Broadway, as you know, in Hollywood is like one of the greatest platforms of theater. So Broadway is has made many actors today that you see on film and we admire and we see their work and we are in awe of their work. So there's something in theater that all the renowned actors have gone through, or all the people who are established today, all the good actors that are in front of us today have had some theater background. So theater, when it to answer your question, theater, when I first entered, it opened a whole new world for me. I learned that what is the backstage, what are you supposed to do with your body, what are you supposed to do with your eyes, how your movement needs to be alive, how much energy you need to put into a scene. All these things, like, these are the few things that I picked and told you. There are many other things that I can get into. So being on stage just brings out the emotions and brings out the actor or the artist in you that you never knew was there. So that experience of theater was really enriching for me, and I am glad that I did it, and it's really made me a better actor today, I would say.
So how was it different from being in front of the camera? You have done an ad. Everyone should know you have been part of an Amul ad, which
Yeah.
has been running after Master Chef in Star World or something. So I'll
Thanks.
give the link in the description below after this interview ends, so everyone can watch it. So how was it different from being in front of the camera?
Yeah, I mean, that's an excellent question, first of all. Thanks for that, and thanks for promoting
Thank
me a
you.
little bit. So, as the small of an actor I am, so I think, see, uh, that's like I said, it's an excellent question, and I want to answer it a little bit in detail so that all the people who are watching here, if there are any acting aspirants or people who want to become actors, it's really important to know that distinction. So see, on just to give you the basic difference between theater and film is that you are in front of a live audience when you are performing through theater. That you will not have when you're performing in front of camera. When you're in front of camera, you are performing in front of the director and people who are making the movie for you. But when you are performing as a part of a play on stage from in the part of a theater form, you are performing in front of a live audience.
There is no chance for retake.
There's no chance for retake. So that's the biggest difference, which is visible to any normal person who watches that or
Yeah,
understands the two art forms.
yeah.
So see, it's very important to understand that and acknowledge that for any actor, that you are in front of someone who's living that experience with you. Whatever you are doing, people are experiencing it with you. That is theater form of acting. So you have to be even more better. You have one chance in life. It's like you're just jumping off a cliff to another side of the cliff, and either you fall down and kill
Yeah,
yourself, or you just go
yeah.
on the other side, right?
Okay.
Or you jump across the other side. So being in theater means that you have to be alive, like the audience is alive in front of you, you have to be alive on stage. You have to behave like you are like with full life,
You're
full of
interacting with the
energy,
audience.
everything
You're
you need
bringing
to
the
put into it.
audience. You're interacting with the audience in such a way
Yes,
so that
absolutely.
they feel that they are also part of that play.
Yes, yes. You have to just so you ultimately what you're doing through theater. So starting, this is theater that I'm talking about in every aspect. That when you're performing in a play for theater, you need to take the audience along with you, like you rightly said, and tell them the story so that they feel that they are a part of that story. If you don't, if you're not doing that, if you're failing to do that, you're not actually performing well as an actor on
Explain
stage.
this with an example, like the last play you played. This was
Yeah,
what was the name of the play? Very renowned play.
the middle class. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was the middle
yeah.
class gentleman. So it's a play that was produced by Bangalore Little Theatre. It's a good play. I mean, it's out there, and you might see it on many social media platforms too. You can go to my Instagram profile and understand that, and see all the pictures and the performances, few glimpses of performances that I had. So it was a comedy play. It was a comical play. So out there was a scene where I had to engage. I'm basically the main character. I was the character that was fooling the main character. So if I don't engage the audience, what I try to do as an actor is I try to engage the audience through that character that I was playing in fooling the main character. So the audience, once they felt engaged in me, looking at me or being a part of my plan to fool that main character in the play, they felt more alive and they felt more a part of the play. So that's the example that I'm talking about, right? Like we were talking that we need to take the audience along. So why is that important? If the audience at that point of time did not feel that they are a part of this plan, they would be
I mean,
disconnected,
if
and ultimately,
they don't connect with you, the whole play does not work.
absolutely right. So I mean, they won't laugh at you, they won't laugh at what is going on. It was
Yeah.
a comical play, so you need laughter out of the audience. So that laughter won't come until unless you engage that audience. So so that's all about theater acting. Now let's go to the film aspect of it. So with my very short experience of being in front of camera, I know I've done, like you said, I've done an ad, and I've worked with a South Indian director, which gave me a lot of exposure too. So it again, it opened my eyes to and opened my entire personality to a whole new world. So I used to think that if I know how to act on stage, I can act on camera in a similar manner. So it doesn't matter, it's not a big deal. But I was so wrong. I really had to change a lot to act in front of camera. So what did I have to change as an actor? I had to bring down all my levels of whatever I performed or my performance, I had to bring it down. The greatest
You have to
difference or the greatest
tone down everything for
I
being in
had
front of the
to,
camera.
I had to subtly bring down everything that was going behind performing on a stage. So if I'm performing on the stage at the level of 10, I am performing in front of camera at the level of 2 or maybe 1 even in some circumstances. So it's really interesting to change that and come in front of camera and behave. Like, see, I'm talking to you in front of a laptop now and in front of a webcam. I'm talking to you in a normal voice
Yeah,
at a
we are
very
in a close
high
up position, so everyone can see your expression. So you don't need to move your hand like this and move
absolutely.
your head like this to show the audience your emotion. You don't have to talk loud. In front of camera, you just softly, you can speak softly with certain movement
You
of
can
your
convey
eyebrows.
more easily.
Yeah, yeah,
The camera actually magnifies all your hand gestures, physical motions, physical movements, especially your physical movements, your
yeah,
expressions. It magnifies it.
yeah,
So what? So like I'm moving my hands here in a certain gesture. Maybe on the stage I might move it this much, but I'm moving it this much for you so that you are. I'm in the frame. If I'm
yeah,
doing it out of the frame, it doesn't work in front of a
no,
camera or film. People will not see me. So these are
no,
the subtle differences, but a lot it makes a lot of difference when you are doing it in front of camera. So it was a whole new experience again for me. So I mean, as an actor, it's a learning process. Like you understand a different same form of acting, actually the same form of performance is different in different forums and different platforms. So like acting, like theater, like film, there are many other platforms also that might an actor might explore. There is also a street play platform. That is also a subtle form of theater, but a street play also you need to be very careful. You need to
yeah.
understand. Say, for example, there are more physical movements in a street play. You need to engage the crowd even more. So you need to be more physical, more impactful with your strength and your face and your expressions and your movement, jumping here to there. So
Yeah, because
like
they are
this,
non-paying audience. So until
yeah,
and unless you don't get their attention, yeah, the whole point of the strict act does not work.
does not work. But it's really interesting though. I mean, if you really watch a street play ever, it's another experience altogether. So I would suggest the audience, whoever's watching this, you try to catch a glimpse of a street play once. It's even a better form. People underestimate certain forms of performing arts, so that is really a good form, and you should catch a street play if you get an opportunity. So let me ask you, I mean, what do you feel is the best form of acting or best form for an actor to, or let me ask it in another way actually. What do you like to see? Like, do you like to see film or TV or a screen where the actor is performing, or would you prefer to see that person alive in front of you performing?
Personally, I would go for movies. People say that theater is the best form of acting, but I think walking in front of the camera is very difficult because even a big actor who off stage, they when they come in front of the camera, they become very camera conscious. So it's not
Hmm.
very easy for everyone to feel that sitting in front of the camera and saying a line is very easy. There are people who will prompt your dialogues, but it's not very easy. Sometimes it takes 30 takes, 40 takes, but it does not work. Maybe in theater there are chances of mistakes, but you can cover it by some improv acting. But in front of the camera, I like you said, it magnifies everything. So every small mistakes gets magnified, and you have to work on it. But basically, acting is a very tough job. Everyone feels that acting is very easy, anyone can do it. But once you do it, you'll know that it's not that easy.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. So for me, I mean, the journey in these few years, only a couple of years, I can actually feel it that, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, becoming an actor is really a struggle and enhancing your skills is also a very important. But people think that earlier people, I think 20 years back when the
Yeah,
Amitabh
जिसको
Bachchan
कुछ नहीं आता है वो एक्टर बन जाता है.
एक्टर बन जाता है हाँ that is their perception that okay like just becoming an actor is very easy you just need to get a break and you don't need any skills for it but today seeing people like Nawazuddin Siddiqui the common man basically Nawazuddin Siddiqui I'm just taking one example and there are many more out there so he's the common man that people would never even believe 20 years 30 years back could ever come on screen but today he's done it he's shown it he's proven it so that required some skill, right? Some hard work behind it. It's not easy. You just can't become a pretty face, and you just can't act just for the sake of acting. It's also so. I had this meeting with a casting director, one of a renowned casting directors. I don't want to name him here, but
Yeah,
he said that see, acting is very underestimated, and I mean, you what you see today is something different from what was there 30 years back. So how would you I asked him a question that how would you normalize acting as a career for people who really want to take this seriously and become an actor? So that was a very critical question at that point of time, especially for a casting director, big casting director. So he said you can never normalize such an art form. So what I mean by normalize is I'll just expand a little more. Normalize means I want acting for to be like later on if say I have kids, I want my kid to choose this as a profession and stay secure and safe also. So I don't want my kid to think that if he wants to become an actor, he won't earn any money or he won't be like safe and secure in life. There won't be any financial stability. So I asked him that let it be a common profession like any other profession that you have. Let's have the acting as a profession. But he told me this beautiful line that you cannot normalize an art form. An art form is very erratic, very out of control like you
yeah,
need to be. So the most creative people like Einstein, for example, he's mad. People treat him to be mad, but he's a genius. So all people who have that art and creativity cannot be controlled or cannot be
yeah.
normalized. They need to
They have
be
to be, you have to be a little bit mad enough to pursue a profession like this.
yeah the freedom
Profession
of
of a,
creativity.
yeah, yeah. In order to be an artist, you have to be a little bit mad,
You have to be
because
mad. You have to be
at this
crazy.
stage of our life, I'm starting a YouTube channel. You're going for acting, for stage
Yeah.
acting and professional acting. A person or in a sane mind will not do.
Not do it. Yes. See, if I were to wake up every day, so I had this procrastination process every day before took the first step. That am I going to do this? Am I going to not do this? Is this okay for me? Am I going to sustain or not sustain? So all these questions are a questions of a sane person. But when you actually want to become a little crazy, you take the leap of faith and then you come into this profession, right? So, and I won't call it a profession, it's an art form. Like, you need to, people today are moving towards great creativity. Today, people are understanding the creative world, and media, social media has made it possible for many people who have sat in the back seat for a long time like who have
Yeah,
been scared and intimidated with this platform and with coming out there. So social media has done one good thing is that they have brought out all the creative people on in
yeah,
front of the world. That is
yeah.
one good
One
thing.
percent creative and 99%, craps.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but let's not pose in that negativity over here for your YouTube.
Yeah. But anyways, well, something good will come with every technology. Some
I
bad
think
will come.
more
But anyways,
importantly, everybody should get an opportunity. I
yeah,
know there might be some, I don't want to call it fuck ups, but yeah, there might be some failures. But
yeah.
yeah, it's
In creative field, in sports, in creative, in being an artist, in being in sports career, you need little bit of luck.
yeah.
Everyone says
I
hard
actually
work is everything, hard work is everything, but there's a movie called Luck by Chance. You need little
yeah,
bit of
one
luck
of
in
my
your life.
favorites. By the
Yeah,
way, it's one of my favorites. I actually watched that movie before I give an audition or go for an audition. It had
yeah,
become my process because I
yeah,
know I mean, the mentality and the psyche behind that movie is actually very true. Why?
It's very
Because if you go
realistic.
to Mumbai, in my short stint that I spent in Mumbai, I actually felt that people rely on luck, but they don't show that. Like they do the hard work, normal hard work, but they will not show that. But
Yeah,
Amitabh Bachchan, the great Amitabh Bachchan had said this to everybody in the industry. It's 90% luck and 10% hard work. No matter how much hard work you do, 101, 150%, it'll still be 10%. You need 90% luck. So that's
yeah.
the point, like you rightly said. Luck is a
So,
very
so
important factor.
how frustrating it is sometimes in this profession or pursuing this profession.
Yeah, I mean, frustration. I mean, see, ultimately we are human beings, right? If we are facing failure in our life day after day, time after time, even after putting in so much, we lose hope sometimes. We need to get out of it. So I think frustration is very normal. And I think in today's world of where mental health is given priority, I think it's very important to understand how to handle that frustration. So, frustration is something that if you control it, you're fine. Or if you know the right way to take it out, it's very good, even better. But if you don't know the right way, it can ruin you. So I
Yeah,
think frustration for any actor out there listening, or any performing or artist over there who is wanting to perform any creative form or go for any creative form, they should understand that frustration is very normal. Don't get saddened or don't get upset with something which is not in your control. Ultimately, the whole universe is conspiring to get you what you want, and it
yeah.
will come at the right time. It will come at the right time. You just have to keep on going. That's it. It's the only thing that us human beings have learned. Move on. People die, our family die. We see people around us going away, leaving us and going, and we have nothing in our control, but we still move on. So it's a simple, even in this is just a profession. This is some creative art form. It's not in your control. So
So
I think,
how
see,
yeah.
frustration is common. Yeah.
How
Yeah, go ahead.
important is networking in this profession?
See, networking is very important. So, I mean, there's no, there's no like there's no colors around it. It's like black and white. So you need networking. People who say, like, you have networking in any other profession, if you have some contacts, if you know people, if you know how to talk people and have a lot of friends and people, and you have built a network, even that is a kind of hard work, and you should reap the benefits of that hard work also,
Yeah.
right? So which means that if you are making a good friend in the industry, if Karan Johar really takes to me and he's become my good friend, and if he gives me an opportunity, I'm not saying that he just puts me on a
It's
platter
not
and
nepotism. It's not nepotism.
it's not nepotism.
Nepotism
It's
is
not
a very
nepotism.
bad one.
I think nepotism is yes, absolutely right. I think nepotism is a very overrated, and it's very easily and flabbily thrown about on every person today. I don't want to say who, you know who, but nepotism is something that happens in any normal person's life. Say
Yeah,
my dad, if he knows a person in a certain industry, he will obviously think for me, and he will obviously want his own offspring to get the opportunity and get that chance. So I think it happens in any normal world, not only in the celebrity world. So we've got this word nepotism from the celebrity world, but actually it's amongst us normal
yeah,
people also.
yeah.
So I
So
think
how do you start the process of networking? I mean, how did you approach someone from acting profession? How did you start this process?
yeah. So as you know, I'm a guy whose like communication skills are, I don't want to boast about myself, but yeah, my communication, that's my one strength that I know about. So I really like to socialize. I really like to mingle with people, and you know that. I mean, you've seen that all my life. And
Yeah,
what I would say is that today's platform has restricted that a little bit. Like, for example, Skype calls and all the other Teams calls that we have, we don't get to meet people. So we are out after the pandemic. I think it's even worsened the situation, because we are not getting out there much more. People have got comfortables in their closed, comfortable
yeah,
place, right?
yeah.
So I think, see, starting your, I don't think it's a journey. I don't think it's a process. It's just that we are human beings. We need to talk to people, and if we are stopping ourselves from talking to people, we are closing ourselves to many doors. Like, if we are talking to one person today, that person will talk to some other person, and some other opportunity might be opened for you. And
How
especially
did
in,
for when you started that first you started your acting career with in professional acting career from that play, the first play you did, right?
first, yeah, correct.
What was the name of the play?
It was a
Not the
middle
famous
class
one.
gentleman.
No, no, no. Before
No,
that.
not the film. Okay, before that, okay. The one which I started was kidnapped. Kidnapped.
Yeah. So you went to the theater director, or someone
No.
took you along?
So see, I did, so today everything is at your beck and call because of Mr. Google.
Yeah.
So I googled and I found out that there are different theater groups in Bangalore, and I need to understand from where I can start. So there I found this renowned theater group in Bangalore, which is headed by this famous South Indian director and writer. So he basically co-founded it, and I went there and I found that I met many people, like-minded people I would who I knew that if I network with them, if I talk to them, I'll just get opportunities opening up one after the other. So I went there. I did the 3 months training workshop, and then after that, I got an opportunity to write along with my peers and also perform. So after that, I got another call from another theater group, which was BLT and the Middle Class Gentleman. That went over 2 months. I've performed about 20 shows. So that gave me another opportunity where people from that group only referred me to a casting director in Bangalore. So that casting director again gave me an opportunity where I acted in this Amul ad. So see
Okay.
how the
So
chain of
this is a
events start.
networking, yeah, networking
Yeah,
start.
so that's the chain of events. So one, two, three, you climb the ladder slowly, slowly. But if I was not at that theater group or did not Google that day, it would not have started. I would have
Yeah.
been where I am 3 years back or 4 years back.
You have to take the leap. You have to start the communication.
Yeah. Yeah, the communication process is very important. You need to start somewhere. You might think it's stupid at that point of time, but
Yeah.
I would say just
Um,
take that stupid step.
uh, uh, Ethan Hawke said it's a fool's world. So
Yep.
you have to make fool of yourself. You have to be
Yeah,
brave
yeah.
enough to make fool of yourself. So yeah,
And that is a very important, actually, thanks for bringing that up. Actually, that's a very, very important thing for an actor or a person who wants to come on stage or in front of camera. You have to leave your, so I was told to be, I mean, my mentors complimented me on the fact that I did not have any inhibitions. So what does that mean? That means that I'm not afraid of making myself a fool in front of people or in front of the audience or the crowd. So that's a very, very important point for us as human beings also. Sometimes I think our teachers used to also started telling us this at some point of time in our school, if you remember, that no question is a foolish question or a stupid question. You can
yeah,
ask 10 stupid questions to get to the right answer,
yeah,
or to the or so it's never too stupid. Let people judge you. I mean, judgment
yeah.
today is very
Doesn't
naive, I
doesn't
would
matter
say.
what anyone says. I mean, until
Yeah.
unless you are fine with it, it's okay.
Yeah, as long as a high court judge doesn't judge you, it's fine.
Yeah.
As long as you're
uh,
not convicted for it, it's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah. uh, don't want to think about that.
Mhm.
Anyways, so the first day issue acting first day you started acting in the theater. What was the first thing that was taught to you? I mean, what acting process
Um,
was taught to you?
it's hard to remember. There's so many things jumbled up in my head, but yeah, I'll just try to give it a shot. So yeah, I think the first day I was taught a very basic thing, which I really never realized that was important. So they just told me, or us, the group who came there, to walk the entire room, but don't walk in patterns. So we are used to walking in a certain pattern when we are like in any crowd. So when I am walking and I see a person in front of me walking in a straight line, I also start walking in a straight
You
way.
match you match their footsteps. You
Herd
walk in a rhythm.
mentality. You must have
Yeah,
heard of it. Herd mentality, right?
yeah,
So you
yeah,
can't have that as an actor. You cannot have herd mentality because you are, until unless you're playing a role which is similar, you cannot match up to that other person. Like you cannot have the same walk as a different character. For example, in a movie, if you are having the same walk as the father and son are having a same walk, that makes a little sense. But you cannot have the exact same walk, right? As a human being, right?
yeah,
Obviously, your father will walk in a certain style. My father will walk in a. I will walk in a certain style. So
yeah,
that cannot be mimicked. If you are doing it, means you're mimicking that person on screen or mimicking that person, copying that person, as you would say. So that was the very basic thing I learned, which I realized that that's, oh god, that is like, it opened my eyes to the thing that I cannot do this if I'm an actor. I have to walk in a certain unrealistic, non-systematic way, you can say,
yeah.
not in a pattern, a certain. I
You
cannot
have to break your pattern. You have to break the barrier. You have to
break.
go out of
Yeah.
your comfort zone. You just you can't be yourself on stage. You have to be a different
No,
person.
you can be. So see, no one can actually. I think that is a very wrong perception. People can be their stage. I mean, you're right in a way, but you can't. Ultimately, I cannot change. I have to show a little bit of Tyrone there, like a little bit of myself in the character. You can never be someone else until unless you're totally transformed and you're cloned scientifically,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So you will have some form of you as an individual there, but that should be like blending with the character. Okay. So that is the point. Like, but yes, as you correctly said, you cannot be yourself, your true self on stage or in front of camera while acting. You have to be the character. So yeah, that brings me to another point which I learned over there is the second thing is characterization. So characterization is to learn what your character say. For example, I am playing a beggar. I cannot live in this. I cannot act like acting in this today's lifestyle the way I am, or where I'm earning money, where I'm not below the poverty line (BPL). I cannot act that I'm above that. I have to act that I'm BPL, below the poverty line.
So
So it
to
basically.
play a role, you have to channelize something from your memory. I mean, in order to play
So
that part.
So yeah, I mean, I think you hit the hammer right on the spot. Is It's just that, see, there's a famous, you can say, entrepreneur of this performing art acting. He brought in realistic acting basically in the times, in the Roman times, I would say. Okay, the Greek method, through Greek method. If you read about him, Stanislavski, you must have heard of Stanislavski, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Stanislavski is a famous guy who has brought in this whole realistic form of acting. Earlier, what happened before him during the Renaissance? It's called the Renaissance era. Okay, where things changed. People used to think performing on stage was overacting, like doing jumping, aerobatics, and all these other things, which were over and above the normal realistic way of behaving. Okay, but he brought in the realistic genre. Like people should see themselves when they are watching something, right? If they are
Yeah,
totally if out of the game and they're seeing something unrealistic, I would say in unrealistic is the correct word, they will not believe it after a certain point. They'll
yeah,
lose interest. So that realistic form actually brings in this part of characterization. Like you, to understand a character, you might be triggering a certain emotional memory, and or you might be triggering something that you have seen in your real life, which you can bring into that character. You got my point, right? So that realistic form of acting only comes with the things that you are exposed to in life as an actor or as a human being, more importantly, right? So if you have not seen that thing, if you don't know how a beggar looks like, and you are playing a character of a beggar, it's going to be very, very difficult for you. You need to go to
uh,
reference sites and all these things. So
and
it's
what do you feel
very
is
important.
what do you feel is very important in the writing, the direction, which is very important, writing or direction?
See, I mean, I as an actor, I should be biased towards acting, but I'm not. I'm not going to. I'm going to
No, no,
answer very.
I'm saying when you're playing a character,
Okay.
what is more important, the writing on the script or the way the director directs you, which is more important, which has to be top notch for you to act with, which helps you
See,
most?
for me, for me, I'm a see for film acting. If you say I'm, or even for theater, for a matter of fact, I'm a guy who marries the director. I mean, I need to understand from the director what he wants first, which is very, very important. So I would put that a little higher than the writing, because the writing ultimately it has to be enhanced by the director, or you can say has to be put in a creative form by the director. So listening for an actor to listen to the director and portray what the director says through the script or through the writing is very, very important. The director is there with the person who is handling, like he's the, what you call, the puppet master, as you call it. He's the puppet master. Now the writing may be what it may be. It might be a very powerful book to read, but it might be very difficult to visually look at that if the director does a very bad job.
Is a if the
So
director is bad, it's a good novel will
good
not
writing can be,
translate into a no, will not get translated into a good feature film.
yeah,
So
it will be a
yeah,
recipe
I
for
also
failure
feel,
basically.
yeah, I also feel good. I think you can see in modern times that many movies are turning out to be a trash because of bad direction. I mean, it starts with a very good fast up, and the director fails to end it on a high note. I think
Yeah,
direction is the most important thing. Even a good director can make a poor script, a poor subplot look amazing. I think I'll
yeah,
say recently I watched this movie Vad. Uh,
yeah,
it had everything.
yeah,
The had very good actor. The story was very nice, but suddenly after the second half, it just ended just like this. I mean, it was going up with hair. It was on a high note. Then suddenly it fall flat. It fell flat, and it was very unsatisfactory. From we when you're watching a Sanjay Mishra, right? The name of
yeah.
the actor.
Sanjay Mitra.
Yeah, when you're
Yeah,
watching a Sanjay Mishra movie, you are expecting a lot of things, but the way the director ended the movie was unsatisfactory. I wanted to see more what happens, but just
yeah,
was bad direction.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, it's very important to direct a movie the way the audience wants, but there are some selfish directors, let me tell you, or there are some selfish writers, per se, who only want to see their story the way they see it, their perspective.
Yeah,
So they will
yeah.
not think of the audience perspective, right? Now, you might have a perspective, but there might be another person out there in the end of the world having the same perspective as the director. So so I would say it's a gambling game. You can make a movie to satisfy your audience or get commercial buzz, but it's very important to keep the art form also there. Yeah, like, I think not everybody will understand that. Like, audience wants what they want, right? They want to
Okay,
be
now
entertained.
let me ask you a very important question. How
Yeah, go
important
ahead.
is to have a social media account like Instagram or Facebook in order to be, you know, recognizable? How
Yeah, I
important
mean,
is to have a social media appearance?
I mean, that's a question. I mean, today, which, I mean, it's a understood answer or a known answer. So today, in this digital world, I mean, where the world is actually turning digital, I would say, and I don't know, after 20 years we might not even see our human forms. We might be up there in the cloud.
Metaverse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we might be in the metaverse or the cloud, right? I mean, so you never know. So it's extremely important to get your social media presence out there. I mean, even if you are having, say, a 10 follower, 20 follower, 100 followers also, it's important that people know that you're out there. And I think today's digital platform has become a bit easier than what it was 20, 30 years back, or a millennia back. We have, as human forms, or as first people who want to understand the
Yeah,
digital
it's
media
easier to reach
more.
an actor. I mean, nowadays, but maybe
Yeah.
10 years ago, it was very difficult to communicate with them. Now you can interact very easily.
So
I
just
think
to give you
it's
an
very important.
example, I mean, I get casting calls on Instagram. Okay, so that's a very easy platform for me. If I was not on Instagram, I would not have got some casting calls, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you always see, if you're not somewhere at the right place at the right time, you're always losing out some
So
opportunity.
which social media you are following right now?
I think the strongest social media platform is Instagram as of now. I mean, it's blowing up like crazy. I think Mark Zuckerberg is becoming a, I mean, and he's trying to enable most people, but he's doing it in a more puppeteer way where he can also have the control. But I think people have started believing in Instagram. Okay. So I think many actors are out there, many big celebrities are out there, they use it. Sometimes even more than Twitter, also, I would say. So Twitter is also very, very crucial, I would say. You need to keep an eye on Twitter. Twitter also has to be, you have to have a Twitter presence, you have to have a Instagram presence for sure. Facebook, not so much. They're not there. I mean, it's dying out a little bit, but I think even if you're having an Instagram account, Facebook account, you have by default, right? Since it's both Facebook. So I mean, see, I won't say that I would like stick to a particular social media platform, but if I had
But
to stick,
it's important to you know have
yeah,
your presence over there.
yeah, it's
If
important to have
you
your
just
presence
can't
at the
rely on
moment.
your good acting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't. Of course, you can't rely. I mean, that's an understatement. You have to be very, very out there. I mean, you need to show. I would say it's a good thing now. This Reels and YouTube Shorts has become a very good platform to portray your skill, to show what you are, what your creative art form is. So actors who are
You have
listening,
to be
I mean,
what is in that you're always in front of your audience, no matter if you are not
yeah,
acting or not, just you're always in front of your audience. So even if they are not watching you, back of their mind, subconsciously they remember your face. So whenever they see
correct.
you on camera, they quickly recognize you. Yeah, I saw this guy somewhere, and
Yes.
you have to have this recognizable
They connect the
persona.
dots. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So you have to be out there. I mean, nowadays, even in the process of recruiting actors, also, it's very hard to recruit actors from in their physical form. Like they cannot come for, or not everybody can come from all around the world for an audition. So they do it digitally. So you have to
yeah.
be ready with YouTube links to give so that they are able to see you. So it's that important, social media. So it's thoroughly important.
So,
Everybody out there should have a social media account. Yeah.
so what will
Yeah.
say, what will tell you the person who is following a career, who has a business or he's part of a profession and he wants to take up acting. I mean, it's a in spite of having a full-time job. Um, what are the points? What are the suggestions you'll give that person in order to follow a
Mhm.
profession like acting?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to, I think, answer that question for myself also. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, just as a initial step, I would say don't think so much. Just make sure you're able to get the. I think you have to sacrifice some of your weekends. So the weekends that you're going partying and you want your leisure time, just sacrifice that a little bit. I think you'll get time to do your creative thing. So at least do that as a first step, right? Take the leap, uh, start something which you can, or you know that you want to follow, or you have the passion for in your free time. May it be maybe cooking, or may it be your any culinary skill that you have, painting, any art form. I mean, you just need to take the first step. And you can always say to yourself that I don't have time, I don't have time, but you really have
you
the
have
time.
to make,
Trust me, you
you have to
really
find
have
the
the time.
time. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
If
you
you don't
trust
do
me.
it for yourself,
I,
no one is going to do it for you.
Yes, yes. So I mean, if you are really passionate about that, you will make the time. You will really do it. So both of
I think
us, I think
for both of us
we are.
it's very practical because when we were younger, we
Yeah,
had enough time in our
yeah,
hands to
yeah.
follow any dream we wanted. But we did not have a passion for anything. Did not have
Correct.
passion for acting. I did not think that I'll start a
We were
YouTube channel. I'll be good
exploring
in acting.
ourselves. We were
Yeah,
exploring
yeah,
ourselves.
yeah. I was. We were exploring our life, but it is far more easier for a person who is not in a working field. But if you are in a working field, you have to do the hard work. You have to sacrifice. It's not very easy, but
Yeah,
there are some actors, there are some people who have started this profession at a very later stage, like Professor Snape
go on.
from Harry Potter. Yeah, he started acting
Mm,
after he got his first break at 40 years old.
yeah,
So there are some examples in every career that there is no age to start something.
yeah,
If you have passion, if you have hunger, if you have determination, you will see the light at the end of the day. So
yeah.
and
Light at the end of it.
yeah, so what are the homeworks you generally do when you are not acting? What are the homeworks you do in order to prepare yourself for or for any role?
So see, I usually what I do is, I mean, you can say that
You,
you're
you
an actor
watch
and
you
you have.
watch you watch YouTube videos of how to act or something like that
Yes,
from
of
other. You
course.
follow
I
some
watch
people.
I watch YouTube videos. I watch many acting. There's few people that I watch. I mean, there are many people out there. I think YouTube is a very good platform to learn a skill or update your skill. There are many people out there, experienced people. I would say. I would don't go for the
Can you
unexperienced.
can you name some so that
Um,
people who are watching this can also follow them and learn from them?
I think you can follow this guy. He has this an actor's truth. You can follow his page. He's a guy who actually the Stanislavski who I was talking about, right? So he's a guy who basically tells you about how to apply Stanislavski and all the big people who were there in that Greek time who taught acting, how to follow their methods. Okay, like there's many actors, like basically Stanislavski's line of acting and teachers. They have published many books, many methods of acting. So I think he portrays it in an okay form. I know it's a little difficult to portray it, but he portrays it in okay, and it's interesting to watch his videos. But see, you also have to develop your own process. Looking at different YouTube videos is okay, but you need to every day sit and you have to understand what your acting process is, and that can only be done if you perform in front of camera for at least
Yeah,
at least
you do you practice every day in front of the camera? I mean, yeah,
I would not say every day, since the very very obvious lack of time. So if you're not getting to do it every day, I would say as a start, you can just do it on a weekly basis. At least perform in front of the camera, learn what you're doing wrong, or maybe
yeah, have
ask
to
an
stay in
experienced.
practice.
Yeah, or maybe if you are asking an experienced person or asking a second opinion, it matters a lot. Like for example, for me, my wife has been a very good teacher for me because she has
Hmm.
picked out all the wrong things and right things in my performances, and it's really helped me. So anyone can actually judge you by what you're performing and what they want to see. So you can
Critic is
improve your
very
performance.
important. Critic
Critique
is
is
very
very
important.
important. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. You have to have constructive criticism. That's a very,
Yeah,
let me add that word, because
yeah,
not
yeah,
all criticism is good. So you
yeah.
might have
But
a wrong
constructive,
criticism sometimes, but
yeah.
constructive criticism from experienced or people who you know who will tell you the truth, you need to take that advice and again improve on your skills. So I think that is the best form of learning, and this is the process that you need to follow. Simple as that. Nothing complicated to that.
So something else you want to add before I end this discussion?
Nothing. I mean, you can share what are. So let me ask you, and then I'll answer for myself. Maybe you. So what are your
Yeah.
top three? Since you said you like film, what are your top three movies for you? Like all-time favorites?
All-time favorite. Everyone will think that I love Hollywood movies, so my top movie will be a Hollywood movie. But my most acting wise, I might not watch it most often. But the movie which I watch most often is Wake Up Sid, because I feel that that movie is telling my story. But the first movie I will say is Nayo. Satyajit Ray's Nayo. Uttam Kumar
Mhm.
acted in that movie. Everyone thinks that Uttam Kumar is a very commercial actor, but whenever he gets chance, he
Mhm.
shows what a great actor he is. He's very underrated actor in India wise. Everyone in Bengal loves him. He's the god to
I
us.
liked
But
him in that
I,
movie Mohalaya also. Yeah, by the
yeah,
way.
Mohalla is not there. Mohalla,
Uh,
yeah,
he
someone
acted
else.
as
No. Jishu
that was
played.
Jishu. Okay, sorry, sorry.
Jishu played his
Not
character.
Uttam.
His
Jishu
character.
played Uttam
So
Kumar, right? Okay.
yeah. If you have not watched Nayok, you better watch it,
I'm
because
not.
as an actor you will grow a lot. In first
Good,
movie
good
will be
suggestion.
Nayok. Okay. Second is uh, because of Robbie Ghosh. I really love Robbie Ghosh. I wanted to meet him, but sadly he passed away very early. When I was in class 4, he passed away. He's the name of the movie is the Bawarchi was meant Bawarchi movie where Rajesh Khanna played the lead character. I forgot the name. Somehow I
Okay, so
forgot the name. Okay,
Rajat
I'll
Khanna favorite
mention
movie.
that in the comments in the description below. That the
Okay.
second movie I love, and the third movie I love is um, Terminal. I love the movie
Ah,
Terminal.
Tom Hanks. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've also got
no,
one of the Tom Hanks in
yeah,
my.
Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg. They have done 2 3 movies together, and every movie is Tom Hanks. Most of the movies are great. So
Yeah.
Tom, I have to say the Tom. These are my top 3 movies. What are your top 3 movies?
See, I'm not a fan of.
Okay. Golpo Holo Sutti is the name of the second movie. Golpo Holo
Ah,
Sutti.
nice.
Okay,
That's
okay,
got a
okay.
brain
Your
fart,
top.
by the way.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
yeah,
remember. I think we often have
yeah,
it nowadays after
yeah,
we cross 30. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, so my favorite, I would say, is Top Notch. I mean, I'm a big fan of Hollywood and filmmakers and Hollywood
yeah,
actors. So
yeah,
I mean, it's not that I don't like the other vernacular movies. I really love them. I mean, I feel that Satyajit Ray was an amazing composer,
yeah,
amazing actor, amazing director, and amazing writer, and he deserved what he deserved. I was so happy to see that
yeah,
YouTube video that he got that Oscar even on when he was unwell and he was almost on his deathbed. So he really
yeah,
deserved acknowledgement from all over the world, and he got that at least. So I like his movie Sonar Killa. Like, it's really
yeah,
good. I
yeah.
really love that movie,
He made
and I
movies for
visited
everyone, so from children to adults. He made on every genre. So actually,
amazing
Sonar
filmmaker.
Killa, Gubi and Bhagavan is the first superhero movie of
Yeah,
India's.
yeah, yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah.
I know how
Okay, yeah.
you.
Back to your top 3 movies.
Yeah, so my top three movies would be first would be Shawshank Redemption, and I think it's a beautiful movie, well written, well directed, acting wise, it's epic. I mean, I don't see any issues or problems or cons with that movie. I mean, it's really a movie which I could relate to, and the most important message that I got out of that movie was survival, how to survive, no matter how simple and simplistic and how normal you are. I mean, you can survive in the most wildest and most grave environment. So,
Yeah.
second one is, I think, another Tom Hanks. I mean, it's Forrest Gump. I've I've shown
Yeah.
it.
I love. Yeah, we went to Vietnam after watching Forrest Gump. Actually, Forrest Gump was not shot in Vietnam. It was shot in maybe in Thailand, but the movie was so nice. I mean, I watched that
Yeah,
movie so many times. Yeah,
I
Forrest
mean, I
Gump
can
is.
watch that movie anytime. I mean,
Well, it's
it's a
very,
movie that
you
I
asked
watch.
me you asked me for 3 movies, but it's very difficult to name only 3 because there are so
Yeah,
many movies I love. Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
but
Okay,
for
Tom.
people like us, it's difficult.
Yeah, I'm a big movie buff. I watched so many movies. I just eat, sleep movies.
Yeah,
So okay,
so that's why
back.
I actually prescribed it, and I you'll see those three posters of my three favorite movies in
Yeah, yeah,
my all at home. So I think you must have seen it when you visited me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Third movie. Third movie.
God movie is a Hindi movie which I feel that it really connected to me. Like you said, one movie connected to you, right? You so
Yeah,
that connected to me because I could see things in that movie. It was Three Idiots. So
yeah,
Three Idiots was a movie where I had that exposure of hostel life and I understood what it could be and what are the pros and cons and how fun it could be. It brought back many memories for
yeah.
me. So it was like a what do you say flashback,
Indian
right?
movie is actually lacking a movie like Three Idiots nowadays. It's all
Yeah,
about
I mean,
biography. It's all about fake fake actions in larger than life characters. But I think Bollywood movies is the Indian movie is lacking a movie like Three Idiots nowadays. I think I
yeah,
feel that
absolutely. I like Amir Khan, what Amir Khan did, right? He did a Forrest Gump copy.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, we
The
can't we
remakes
can't
and
comment on that.
remakes and biographies. Been sick and tired of all that. I'm
Yeah,
dying
I
to
can't
watch a
believe
good.
he was that Amir Khan who was from Three Idiots. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's or Tare Zameen Par or whatever. I mean, Tare Zameen Par, by the way, is another favorite of mine. So yeah,
yeah.
I used to like Amir Khan until the recent times. I don't know why he's doing what he's doing, but it's fine. I mean, everybody
Be
has their own
careful,
choice.
you might be working with him soon, so tone
Yeah.
down a bit.
I hope to. I hope to. Constructive
Hey,
criticism.
Amir Khan, if you're watching this,
It's
don't mind.
constructive
We'll love
criticism,
it.
sir.
Yeah,
We
constructive
still love
criticisms.
you.
Yeah, you can do some original stuff and you'll do fine.
Yeah, we
Anyway,
still love
these
you.
are the
Big fan.
okay. If anyone who is watching this video, kindly mention in the comment section what are your top three movies, and if you like this video, kindly subscribe to this channel, press the like button, and share this video. And I will mention the Instagram account of Tyrone on in the description below, and do follow him, grow his followers, and all the best to Tyrone, and well, see you soon.
Thank
Okay.
you for having me. Sat Sri Akal.
Okay.
Namaste. Bye bye.
Bye bye, Amitabh Bachchan.
See you.